Thank you for listening to Right Jokes, Wrong Times. Today I was joined by Patrick Christopher. You can listen to Patrick on his podcast, Pat Out of Hell, which won't be releasing this week, but will be back next week. His podcast, Duderman Homie Bro, with Jake Flores and Scott Ramos. You can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Your Homie Pat. You can find his shows at barbacoacore.com. And you can catch him July 20th at Upstage for the Big Bang Comedy Show, which is a military appreciation show. And you can catch his show, Fantastic Damage, on Friday at 8 p.m. We started the podcast by talking about taking my kids to the Minions movie. We went to the movies today.
What'd you go see?
Minions, took the kids. And it was Minions. They loved it, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like kids' movies in general have taken like a big step down. I feel like they used to be a lot better, to be honest.
Well, they don't do like before. They used to do like hardcore, like adult innuendos. So like it's entertaining
Yeah.
for kids and adults.
Yeah.
Do they do that still?
In like the great ones, yes. But I swear stuff like this where it's like Minions and it's
Yeah.
stuff that's kind of just kept running.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like they were just like, oh, we need something this summer. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It felt a little uninspired, to be honest.
Uninspired. You went in looking to get inspired.
Yes. From Minions, yes.
That's cool.
I'm looking to break out of the Minion crowd, and I just found nothing but another Minion of a movie.
Yeah.
So I thought it was funny because we were sitting there and the commercials were like, we're at Evo, right? So it's like you recline and all that stupid shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, we took an experience and we made it better. And I was like, yeah, because everybody was complaining about the movie going experience before this. Like, nobody was like, hey, this sucks.
No,
Like,
dude. I hate going to the movies. Me and the wife, we just went to a movie this past Tuesday. Like I called in from work.
yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't know. And we went to go see Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And we went like at 1 o'clock, or like, early. It was like a $5 show or whatever.
Damn.
And so I was stoked. I was like, the theater's empty. Nobody's going to fuck with us. Because the thing is, like, I get distracted easily by people. And like
Yes.
people are talking, people look at their phones during the movies. I'm easily distracted and it throws me off in the movies. So, of course, empty theater. We have a family of Mexicans sitting behind us. And I can say that because I don't have any kids.
That's exactly why I can't say that. That's the only reason. Yeah.
And of course, the youngest Mexican kept kicking the back of my chair, and I kept looking back. I was like, "What the fuck? Fix this shit!"
Yes, please.
And finally, they did. They moved him, so I was like, "Oh, thank you for that." But they kept talking, and in Spanish, which is even more disturbing. Not disturbing, disruptive. You can speak Spanish, just not in a movie. This is going great. Are we recording? Is this thing on? Yeah, dude.
Hey, do you mind if I release this one under your old name? No, I'm joking. Dude, thank you so much for doing this with me, man.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of necessary.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Everybody's
Yeah.
fine.
Jesus, man. So I'm really excited to do this with you because lately, as I've been able to get out, which is pretty rare, every time I come out, I see such a difference in the leaps and bounds of your set.
Oh, thanks, man.
Not only yeah, of course, man. Not only in the jokes that you're telling, which I'm like, oh shit, I haven't heard this one. Oh shit, I haven't heard this one. Or I haven't heard like the finer details that you're hammering out in between each joke.
Mhm.
And what struck me this time was, as I listened to your set at the Tiger, I was like, damn, dude, every little tag that you had was like laughter, laughter, laughter. And that level is higher than the consistent level I've heard yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been crazy cool to watch that grow. And dude, congratulations to you for all the hard work and stuff that I've watched you put in. Dude, that's incredible.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know the difference too. Like, I was dog shit the first couple of years, and I'm just trying to have more fun with it, like, and it's paying off. I mean, well, not financially, but artistically, it's paying off. But no, I've been having more fun on stage, and I think that's what it's all. Because I would get, scared, like, oh, here's my recital, here's my, rehearsed, notes or whatever on life or my whatever.
So, are we talking about me? What's happening?
No, so just like allowing yourself to like be more loose on stage and just like having fun with the audience and not just hoping that they have fun at you or whatever.
Yeah.
It totally makes a big difference about how I approach going on stage before now than before, you know?
Well, it shows, man. It really shows. So,
Thanks, dude. Thanks.
with all that being said, man, I'm really excited to ask you. I asked you about a joke of yours that works on stage. So, what do you have for me there, man?
One of my favorites that I've been doing now is my LGBTQ ally joke,
Yeah.
and I like it because it's really a joke that I could really talk about something that happened in my life. You know, usually
Right.
before jokes are just like an exaggeration of a conversation or exaggeration of something that happened, but this was a real thing, and I talk about, you know, like my sister coming out as lesbian,
Right.
you know, and how I dealt with that and all this stuff. And I love my sister, and I actually had to get permission from her. Like I did it on stage, and then I made a clip, and I sent her. I was like, "Can I keep doing this?" You know?
Do I have your permission to have done that?
Yeah, yeah. And so she gave her blessing. She's like, "Oh, that's funny. I don't remember that happening at all." I was like, "Great."
Damn.
But yeah, so that's been working because I talk about, you know, how we did. I didn't. It's not that I didn't agree, or how can I say this? I didn't have a hard time with my sister being gay, being lesbian. I was
Right.
just worried about her. You know, it was in the early '90s. Hate crime was on the rise. That whole thing with Matthew Shepard had happened. You know, so when you just think, you know, hate crimes against gays, my sister's now coming out as a lesbian. I'm just like, no, you know, this is fucking scary. And of course, when she came out, like she literally covered her cards in stickers with the rainbow
That's
flags, the pink triangle. She would
that's how you find
listen.
out.
No, no, no. Like, but that's how
Yeah.
that's how she was telling the world, you know. And I
Yeah.
remember her like she would drive around and like she would listen like to this club dance mix, and all the lyrics we were saying was like, "I'm a lesbian." I was like, dude, like, who are you trying to like? What are you doing here? Like, what's going on?
Damn. She's
But
sending heavy messages.
I mean, I get it. You know, she spent like at that time half of her life not being who she was, and then she
Right.
was who she was. So she was just like, it's a pride thing, and like, yeah, have that. But and it was never about like don't be proud about who you are. It was just like, what if somebody that doesn't like what you're doing now sees who you like something that they don't like about you?
Right.
You know, so it was just about that, and so I joke about that, about how we disagreed about her flaunting her pride, and I mean that sounds bad, I guess.
Yeah. So, can you stop flaunting it?
Yeah, but it was just to the outside party, because even like with my friends, I would literally introduce her as my lesbian sister. You
Yeah.
know,
Damn.
because at this time she was in the military, so she would be in and out of town. So everybody's like, "Who's this person?" You know, I haven't seen her in a while. Like, "Oh, this is my lesbian sister." You know, just to like let her know, like, I'm not ashamed of you. I'll tell my friends who you are. I just don't want strangers who might not like what you're doing to know,
Right.
you know, who you are, type of thing.
Right.
And so yeah, and then I tell off on like how stupid it is to like hate somebody about what they are, you know, and I disclose something that I'm against, which is a very stupid thing, and it's just left-handed people.
Yes. I love how much you hate left-handed people.
And it's not that I hate left-handed people; it's left-handed musicians. Left-handed musicians really drive me crazy because they play the opposite. You know, they play everything backwards. The guitar's backwards. The drum set's set up backwards. And even though it's all the same thing to me visually, it's just like, whoa, this isn't right. You know, this is an abomination. You know? Yeah, it's always been a thing with me, like a triggering thing for me. And what really set it off is I saw this movie called Sound of Metal,
Yeah.
which I was really trying to get into because it's something that I really fear. It's about this drummer. It's a rock drummer on tour, and he starts losing his hearing, and he has to deal with all that stuff. It's a great movie.
Shit.
It's a great movie if you get past him being a left-handed drummer,
Damn.
which I
Which you
could
couldn't.
not. I could
Yeah.
not get past that, and like every time you play drums, I was like, "You're doing it wrong." Like, and the whole thing, I was like, "You're acting. Why can't you act like a right drummer?" You know.
Yeah.
And so like that came, and then I was like, how can I make a joke about this? And so I was always toying with that whole, you know, the whole thing with my sister, and just one day it just made sense to put it together, you know, because it is a dumb thing. It is a dumb thing, and I really don't have any hate towards right-handed people or left-handed people. It's just how ridiculous that some people like they hate people for who they are, for what they don't really have a choice on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm a dumb person, so I was like, it's not like I'm being outwardly like this is how society should be. It's just me being like, like be who you are unless you're left-handed. That sucks.
Wait, so how would you regard somebody who chooses to be ambidextrous? Like if they're right-handed and they start going left-handed, are you like, hey, that's a sin?
Oh, no, they're just selfish. But also that's impressive.
Yeah, I had a buddy in middle school that his dad was forcing him to become a left-handed baseball player.
Yeah,
Like this is like in middle school,
yeah. What's funny? So my wife's left-handed, right? And
right? Oh
I
shit!
think I
And you
think
have this rant? Damn.
no, I put her in there. She's in there too. But I think she told me a story that her brother was also supposed to be left-handed, but they forced him to write with his right hand. So he's right-handed now.
Huh?
But
Weird.
because that was the thing back then, like, don't write with your left hand. Everybody writes with their right hand. So they trained him, and I guess they just let her do her thing. Right? Is that right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, she's right here. So I was like, that's right. That's you, right?
Dude, now that I think about it, why would anybody stop anybody from writing with one particular hand? It's somebody just that's like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. And it goes deeper than that too, because like my father was left-handed, right? So
Damn.
me seeing that, I try to be left-handed.
So you're like the black sheep of the family?
Yeah. No, everybody else is right. Everybody's correct,
Oh,
But yeah,
correct.
yeah, and I don't know if that like me like being against left-handed people has anything to do with my dad, because you know how you see me on stage. I really don't. My dad's dead to me.
And that just feels right.
But yeah, I used to try to be left-handed, because I saw my dad like left-handed. He threw the ball left-handed. I was like, oh well. Like anyway, it's a whole deeper thing, and I'm in therapy, so it's cool. We don't have to do it now.
All right, man. Well, if you don't mind, I asked you to think about a joke of yours that you have that doesn't work on stage. So what do you have for me there?
One that doesn't work on stage. I joke about becoming like the world's crazy. I think things are getting out of hand. Little by little. Well, this was before the whole Roe versus v. Wade thing happened, and I think it might have something to do with that. Anyway, my joke is just joking about how little by little I'm becoming more Republican.
Yeah.
Because I think things are just going a little bit too crazy. I think the left is a little too silly with it, And I was pretty much born into being like a Democrat, just because that's what the family did. So that's what I did, or that's what I do, whatever. And so I just joke like maybe Republicans kind of have the right way of thinking about, the world or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, little by little, I'm becoming Republican. The only thing that keeps me a Democrat is that I don't vote. So and yeah, that doesn't really work. I think people get turned off by Republican. Like Republican, they just see red.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like they just get turned off by the whole like, oh, you're saying that you're Republican, and they just shut down and stop listening. And then I joke on the fact because people complain about like the world that it is, but they don't go vote. Like a lot of people don't vote. You see in the numbers. So all the people that talk aren't walking the walk, and I think that's funny.
Dude, I stop at a gas station at least every day. I go through a tank a day. So
yeah.
And most times I'm stopping in very rural cities. So at almost every gas station is that sticker that's like Joe Biden, and it's like I did that, right? Pointing at the gas prices.
Yeah.
So I see it all the time. So this one time, and every time I see that, I'm like, okay, that's the stupidest shit. You know what I mean? This one time I pulled up and they had a problem with their pump. And so the price where Joe Biden was pointing was like $149 per gallon, it was just like, and I was sitting there, I was like, you know what? I'm willing to listen.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I was like, you know what? I wonder what number it would hit where I was like, you know what? I'm willing to listen to the argument at this point.
I don't remember people being so invested about the president before, but now it's like,
man.
Oh, it's Joe Biden did this, or Trump did this, I don't think it was like that before. Like they were like blaming them. They were just like, oh, well, that's just what it is.
Everybody just shut the fuck up about it before, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I
remember.
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I mean, it's more in your face now, where people stand.
Yeah, and that's what I teeter on the brink of. I don't know how much of that was because I was a kid and I wasn't locked into anything political,
Mm-hmm.
or if people were just more quiet about it back then. I felt like people wouldn't like. Oh, it's like who you voted for. You didn't even talk about it. You just went
Yeah.
and voted.
Yeah.
But now people just aren't going to vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. They complain, but they don't do nothing about it. I don't know.
Right. All right.
But yeah, that turns off a lot of people. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with it. But yeah, that's one that's not working currently.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you for tackling you like in the first two things I've asked you. You talking about the LGBTQ community and politics, and so
Yeah.
kudos to you for because if you go up on stage with jokes about either one of those topics, that is a powder keg for a terrible night.
Yeah. Well,
So
I know one place that'll work, so I'll probably just do it there. But other
yeah,
places, shout out to Goofies.
so yeah. I thought you were going to be like, shout out to Dazzles. It's clearly a strip club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of them works really well there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I ask you to think about something that you're writing about now. So what do you have for me there?
One that a new one that I'm trying, very new, and I don't even know if it has any legs. Well, we'll see. I'll throw it out there. So, with all these like these celebrities getting in trouble, the truth coming out, they're going to trial, all this stuff. They're still celebrities.
Right.
So like they'll say like say R. Kelly, for instance. I've seen a headline where it says superstar R&B singer artist R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
My thing is like, once they do bad stuff, stop calling them by their artist names, like use their government names,
Never
cause,
thought of that.
and stop saying, stop bigging them up before saying the negative, cause they still call them, award winning or superstar R&B artist. Like take that away, like, or just keep that out of it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Or like Emmy winning, actor so and so killed 10 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once they do something bad, take their celebrity status away, or just don't mix it in. You know what I mean?
This terrifies me because as someone who changed their last name, I feel like you could just tarnish the name you have and then you're in prison like, no man, that was somebody else. I don't know who the hell that was. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking about if you had a super duper crazy famous name that wasn't anything like your main name and you got in trouble, you'd want everybody to hear your regular name because they'd be like, who the fuck's that?
Yeah, I threw that in there too. Cause like, yeah, like I don't use my last name. My last name is Huerta. I
Yeah.
don't use that because one, people can't say it. Two, going by Patrick Christopher, it's a tribute to my mom. My mom called me that. Everybody on my mom's side call me Patrick Christopher, because
That's
my
cool.
father, yeah, my father's name was also Patrick, so to keep us separate. But then he left, so that was no more confusion there.
So yeah. He's like, I'll do you one better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So everybody calls me Patrick Christopher on my mom's side. So after she passed, I wanted to figure out a way to keep her with me, keep her like still like supporting what I do and all that stuff, still being a part of it.
Right.
So I decided to go by Patrick Christopher, and also because nobody could say Huerta,
Yeah.
properly. I even tried to widen it up. I was like, no, just say Huerta, Huerta. and then I was just like, you know what, fuck it, like just let's run with Patrick Christopher. Like Jeff Ross does it. Jeff Ross is Jeff Ross Lipschultz.
Yeah.
Tim Allen was Tim Allen Dick. Ron Jeremy's something else. I don't know. Ron Jeremy Dick.
Damn, they just followed their calling.
So yeah, I mean, I don't. And people say like, "Oh, your stage name." I don't know. It's not a stage name. I mean, it's just I just don't use my last name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be something like that. Like if I were to get in trouble, it wouldn't be Patrick Christopher got in trouble. It would be Patrick Huerta.
Right.
So it'll be something like that. Like so, instead of calling like our superstar R&B singer R. Kelly, call him like Robert William Cosby Kellerson.
Yeah.
His government name.
Yeah. I feel like it does like bring him down to such a real level too. It's like, oh, that's just a guy with
And
a lot of names.
that's the thing that like they should not still be considered. And because everybody does the argument, separate the art from the artist. well, yeah, let's do that. Especially if they're not, or just stop calling them superstar.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah.
Mega superstar. Like singer, songwriter, blah blah blah. Just say,
Incredibly handsome.
yeah, yeah.
Like, wait up, what's happening? Who's writing this?
Yeah, like bring him down a level, bring him down a peg, because that's what he deserves. It. He's a bad guy.
Speaking of which, the Minions movie started with "Fly Like an Eagle," and all I could think about was R. Kelly's "Fly Like an Eagle" song, because it's the only version I know.
Did he do
Thank
that
you,
song?
Space Jam soundtrack.
No, I believe I could fly.
Yeah, but isn't there's at least okay? There's
Oh,
at
I don't
least
know.
there's at least some song on the Space Jam original soundtrack that's samples "Fly Like an Eagle."
Maybe
So
I could
maybe
hear
I
the
mixed it up with R.
sample.
Kelly.
Yeah, you just want R. Kelly in your life. You want more R. Kelly in your life.
Damn it, he caught me.
Busted.
You want to hear a terrible R. Kelly joke?
Yeah, go for
Okay, damn, now I'm on the spot and I have to remember
it.
it. R. Kelly got sentenced to wear a pedometer for the rest of his life, but it doesn't count steps.
It doesn't count steps.
It's a pedometer,
Oh,
man.
oh, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Damn, I got it. Yeah, yeah. There's something there. It's funny.
I like it, but
Yo, why you put me on this pedometer?
yo, man, this count is already super high.
Yeah, dude.
It's off the meter. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming on with me, especially like under very short notice, man. I appreciate that.
No, no worries, man. It was fun.